Today looking at another product from BeastGrip, their BeastRail system. Hey guys, Blake Calhoun, and today, yes, another product from BeastGrip. I am still working from home and I got a lot of this stuff from BeastGrip before this pandemic happened, and so I'm going through most of the gear that they sent me. And this is an accessory for the DOF adapter, the Mark II adapter. Now, I haven't done a full review of that adapter. I've been using it quite a bit, but this is the adapter that can create really nice shallow depth of field. I did an episode recently covering a film called No Hard Feelings. And the big thing with that film is they use the DOF adapter. And not only does it create really nice shallow depth of field, but it gives the image kind of a nice texture, a very cinematic filmic quality to it. It takes away that electronic edge. But one of the things that the DP in that, David Cleve, noted was putting these bigger EF lenses on the mount, he wished he had a rail system. Well, that's what this is. Instructions. And just a little Allen key. This would be the base plate that goes onto your camera. So I would mount this onto my quick release, and then this goes on top, and then your camera would go on that. Here is the attachment that connects to the actual DOF adapter. And then these are for the rods, or the rails, however you want to say it. And these are 15mm rods. If you've done any work at all with mirrorless cameras or DSLRs, or even bigger cinema cameras, you'll have either 15mm rods or 19mm. The 19mm are the much bigger ones. These 15 have become pretty commonplace. And so these will go into here. And then they would attach to this. I have to say the build quality of this gear is really good. It's really sturdy. It's definitely a premium product. It feels solid. And so the main reason you would use this, of course, is to support a larger lens. And then the other thing that would be nice, and I haven't really done much of this with the DOF adapter yet, but that is you could add a follow focus system to this. And so using the bigger cinema lenses especially, pulling focus can be a little tricky, especially by yourself. If you're using photo lenses, it's not quite as difficult because the move on a lens wouldn't be as far. But using cinema type glass, the roll to do focus is much further. And so that would be one benefit besides just supporting the glass. And so now I'm gonna put this together. So I've got the Beast cage here and the DOF adapter. This is the BeastGrip DOF Mark II. And this is the Beast cage for the iPhone XS Max. They don't have an iPhone 11 cage out just yet, but that is coming soon. And then I'm going to attach a rokinon lens. It's a 24mm. But first, you want to put the base plate on. Your first inclination would be to put it down here in the middle. That would seem to make sense, but in reality, you need to put it on the edge. You need to put it below the adapter. So there's that. Then you would take the rods and put them next. Slide them in, tighten them down. Again, if you've had any kind of experience with a DSLR or mirrorless setup, this is exactly like that. You could actually use some of those parts interchangeably here. All right, so now I've got the rods on, the adapter and the cage. Next, you want to put this piece on. This really is designed to support the adapter with a bigger lens. So you want to position it underneath the adapter. This right here goes up and down. So you loosen this, push it up underneath the adapter, and then tighten it down. Then this has a ring that goes around it that will clasp it tightly. Tighten these down. And you can safely put a lens on. Now, I've been using this without this rod system for quite a while, and I've had no real issues. In the scheme of things, this is not a very big lens. But if you use glass like the guys in No Hard Feelings did, they had a Canon 70 to 200 millimeter. That's probably twice the length of this. You would definitely want to use that for those kind of things. But then the other thing, as I kind of touched on earlier, is if you had a follow focus rig, you could put that right here and then connect it to your lens. So then you could do focus pulls, which doing focus pulls is something that, especially with this much shallow depth of field, something that can really make your films look like a traditional movie. Something that's very hard to do with an iPhone. You can do it, but you just don't get as dramatic of a look as you would using a system like this. All right, so this is the BeastRail system. Admittedly, it is a niche product. You've got to have the DOF adapter, and then you could also use the BeastGrip Pro, their traditional cage, instead of this actual cage. The BeastGrip Pro will work fine with this. But for those of you guys looking for a more serious setup, especially if you're doing movies or commercials and that kind of thing, something you want to give that really shallow depth of field look. And again, shooting through this adapter adds a subtle texture to the image that is very nice, and you really can't replicate that in post-production. So it is a unique setup, absolutely not for everybody, but for those of you interested in this kind of thing, I'm really glad to see a company like BeastGrip offering this kind of product. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.